Today's the day that I'm gonna do something that every foreigner has to do if they want to stay out here in the Philippines. Gotta come out here and extend my visa. Now there's multiple locations to do it, but my go-to spot is right here in SM Aura, but all the way back in the satellite office. So we're gonna do that and I'll tell you how long that takes me. I've done this before, but I'm doing like an informative video. I'm not allowed to record in the inside, but I'll tell you how the process goes, how much it costs. So if anybody wants to do it, you have an idea how to do it, so let's do it. Like I say, there's multiple locations, and a lot of foreigners, when they extend their visa, they usually go to the main office in Intramuros. And I mean, I guess it's a good office, but it's always packed and busy. So I think if you come to one of these SM malls and they have an immigration office, it's actually much more smoother, easier, and faster. I heard also you could do it online too. I might need to check that out. Even though I live around here, so I don't mind coming to the office because it's pretty smooth and easy, especially here in the satellite. So here's the SM Mall, and over that building, that's the satellite. So in the 8th floor is the immigration office, and that's where you're gonna do your process to extend your stay if you want to stay longer out here. So I'm gonna go inside there and I'll tell you how the process went. I know it's gonna be fast and easy, but I'll let you guys how that goes. So I'll finish up with the process, and usually I do the regular one because I live around here, but I decided to do the express one because it's faster, just to give you like an update how it is. You know, but usually, you know, if you come to extend, it's a little bit over 2,000 pesos just for the regular one. But then if you want to do an express one, which it takes you maybe like 30 minutes at most, it's an additional 2,000 pesos. So it's going to cost you like a total of a little bit over 4,000 pesos. But I say just to extend every month or every 2 months, it's only a little bit more of 2,000 pesos, which is roughly like maybe 40 bucks. So yeah, I guess it's okay, you know. That's the office right there. But you gotta go through the mall to get to the 8th floor. Gotta tell you, it's hot out here today. But that's how it is over here, you know, it's summertime. But I don't mind it at all. I was a little bit sheltered inside in the air conditioner now. Feels a little bit nice to get a little bit of heat out here. But loving it out here. And then they got a little barangay over here right next to the BGC area. So I'm not gonna lie though, I think I'm getting a little bit addicted to this heat. Usually it used to bother me in the past, but I think being many years in the States, dealing with brutal cold weather, it just got to me, and now I don't mind if it's brutally hot outside, you know, but at least I can shelter with the trees and everything. Local park in beautiful Bonifacio Global City out here, which is my home base. But now let's explain a little bit more about this tourist visa extension. Let's talk a little bit and walk around the area, a mixture of a blog and a little bit of informative video. So one thing that's beautiful about the Philippines comparing to its neighboring Southeast Asia countries, it has probably one of the friendliest tourist visas ever. You know, in many other Asian countries, for example, I guess like Thailand or Vietnam, for example, they might offer you, as a US citizen for Vietnam, I think it's an e-visa for up to 90 days. You have an agency that can help you up with your visa, but then I think after 90 days, you gotta travel to another country just to leave the country, then come back. Well, here in the Philippines, you don't have to do that because you could just come here, and depending on your nationality, but as a US citizen, I think it applies to Canada too, when you land in the Philippines, they automatically give you 30 days. You know, most of the times they might not, but the immigration officer is gonna ask you how long you're staying. You tell them, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, and they'll stamp you for 30 days. So now what happens? What if I wanna stay a little bit longer? Well, when the deadline is coming, you gotta come to the immigration office, this is one of them. They got many, but this is my go-to spot. You come there, you know, it's easy. You tell them, hey, I want to extend. They're gonna give you a form, you fill out the form, you bring your passport, bring cash, because they don't take cards, it's only cash only. And then, you know, you fill out the form, they give you a number, you go to the office, and they tell you, if it's gonna be your first time since you arrived, you're gonna get 29 days. That's the first extension, 29 days. And then after that, you're gonna extend 1 or 2 months, your choice. Before I heard it used to be 6 months, but they took that out. I'm not sure if they do the 6 months in Intramuros, but it's mostly 2 months. You could choose 1 or 2 months after your first 29 days. And then, you know, you just keep doing that for 36 months, which is 3 years. And then once that happens, you leave the country, I think, for an entire day, 24 hours. I could be wrong. And then you come back and you can restart that again. That's the beauty that the Philippines offers. So as long as you're a very good guest, you behave, you know, break the rules, and you keep up to your extension and pay the fees, you know, and don't commit any crimes out here, you should be good. But also, if you leave the country before those 36 months, it always restarts again, you know. So I guess that's something that the Philippines offers that many other countries don't offer, like a friendly tourist visa. But like I said, you always got to respect and behave yourself and pay your fees. Now, I have a little bit of a friendly advice, you know, because the thing is, I feel like a lot of people, they leave it for last. But keep in mind, the Philippines has a lot of holidays that even myself, I don't know about. So my advice, like I say, you do what you want, but I think my best advice is, if you're gonna extend your stay over here, your visa to the office, do it between 7 to 10 days before the expiration date. That way you do it ahead of time. That way, if there's any holiday, they don't have the immigration office closed and then you gotta wait or force yourself to leave the country. Or, you know, sometimes you're enjoying yourself so much in the Philippines with so much going on that sometimes you even forget, oh shoot, I had to go extend. So that's why I advise you that you do it a week ahead of the expiration date. You know, I still got one more week till it expires, like 10 days, but I came to do it today. That way I get it all over it, you know, and I'm good to go. I can enjoy the Philippines for 29 extra days, but then I'll go and extend again until I leave the country to travel around and come back. But pretty simple, you know, it's a pretty simple process to stay out here. Now here's the catch also. If you come to the Philippines, there goes the noise, Manila. If you come to the Philippines, you cannot come on a one-way ticket. I think other countries is possible, but when you come to the Philippines, you need to have a round-trip ticket or onward ticket, you know, round trip from your country, or onward ticket. Like, I don't know, a lot of people tell me this webpage, onward.com, so it works. Or just buy like an affordable ticket, buy a cheap ticket to Hong Kong, Taiwan, or Thailand, and then make sure it's refundable when you cancel it. But you got to do it, because when you checking in your airline, you know, in the check-in counter and whatever airport you're leaving, they're going to ask you, you know, for your round trip or onward ticket. Maybe the immigration officers, they might do, but you know, you always got to have an evidence that you're not going to overstay in the country. So make sure you have that. That's a little bit of a catch. Also another catch, when I was explaining about the immigration, you know, you could do your extension and it would take 3 days, which is 2,000 pesos. But then if you want to do it express for the day, it's going to be an additional 2,000 pesos. Like I say, you guys know how to manage your money. That is actually your personal choice. I don't know what's actually your situation, so just think about that. But other than that, you know, I've had no issues, and I'm glad that this country, you know, adopted me. Happy to be out here. Happy to live in BGC, but I'm gonna focus in other neighborhoods. I'm gonna try to hit Manila, the old part again. I haven't been there in so long. I wanna go to Binondo, which is the oldest Chinatown. Divisoria. It's been a minute since I've been there. It's just the heat is brutal, but we'll make it happen. Here we are walking the one and only iconic Bonifacio Global City, home where a lot of expats live. And me, I decided to make this area my home base. I ain't gonna lie, like the first time I came to the Philippines, I fell in love with this place, but I love everywhere in the Philippines. Even the regular barangays, the beaches, the mountains, like this country literally has it all. Keep in mind, it's literally like over 7,000 islands. It's like a plaza where you can get some food and cuisines, but it's not high street. And then also they offer a couple of other visas, but I think depending on the situation, I think the best route for now is the tourist visa. There's another option too, which is a 13A visa. It's like if you have a Filipino or Filipina and you marry that person, then you could probably apply for the 13A. But I don't think it's like really that easy. I think you gotta go for a process. But that's like another solid visa. But for now, tourist visa. I heard there's also like a digital nomad, but I was looking at the options. I think for now, the best option or the easiest way to stay here in the Philippines legally is by the tourist visa. So that's the route that many foreigners, they do, including myself. You know, there's tons of business, but just in case you guys are wondering and you guys want to come out here and figure how do I stay here and how can you stay here, I'm giving you a little bit of information how to do it. Obviously, you know, I didn't film in the office, and the office is not allowed to film. But I was just showing you the process. Today it took me a little bit longer than usual, because when I was gonna pay for the visa, you know, I guess they were on the break, so I guess another tip, don't come during lunch hours. But many times I've gone and it's only taken me like 20 minutes. You know, when I gave them the form, they say wait 15 to 30 minutes, but like in 20 minutes I was out of the office, so it's not really like a long of a wait. I think also, I mean, maybe I'm not correct, maybe it's just my opinion, but I think another option to do this extension has come in days like Wednesday and Thursday, maybe Tuesday. Don't come Monday because, you know, they close on weekends, and then Monday I'm pretty sure everybody want to come back to the office. But that's probably just my observation and opinion. And keep in mind, like I say, when it's holidays out here, the office closed, and whenever they open back, it's gonna be crowded. It happened to me, but the only reason is I needed to get my ACR card. Now that I speak, I forgot about it. I had to get my ACR card, and I saw the office crowded, but I only needed to get that, so it was in and out easily. Here we got like a little local park over here. That's beautiful. Then like another plaza over there that connects it to High Street. That's another thing that I want to mention too. Once you go to your second extension consecutive, after the 29 days, you automatically gonna get an ACR card, also known as Alien Certificate Registration, which is kind of like an ID. And with that ID, I think you could do a few things and have a couple of things in your name. But it's most likely gonna say tourist visa. So if it's on tourist visa, I don't think you can really open like a bank account here. But if it was to say like a permanent resident, then you have more options of having a bank or a credit card in your name out here. So those are another things that Philippines offers that other countries don't offer. Like it makes it a little bit easier for foreigners to have certain things under their name. So, you know, a couple of flexibility, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of foreigners, they choose to be here. Not only because of what it offers, the friendly people, but because of the tourist visa, you know, it's easier to stay. Also, English is widely spoken over here, so you won't have no issues with communication. But out of respect, I think it's good also to learn the language. You know, because that way it's pretty helpful. That way it's a better way to understand the locals, and I feel like they will love you more if you speak the local language out here. But yeah, just giving you like an insight of what it is to extend my stay out here. So this is like my first extension since I came back from the United States. But I've been in and out of the country. I did a couple of extensions, so, you know, and I've traveled to multiple countries, but it could be easily like over a year that I've been out here if I wouldn't do like a few travelings around. And this over here is the famous High Street. Not too busy now, but it's very hot outside. But I think the best time to come to High Street is in the evening or in the nighttime. Pretty beautiful. I could walk here every day and never get bored of it. You know, there's always action going on. A lot of people. In the States, I'm not really a fan of Krispy Kreme, but there is one spot that I come here. This is Krispy Kreme, and I feel like the Krispy Kremes in the Philippines, they actually hit different than the States. Their coffee is good, the donuts, everything. In the nighttime, it's gonna be busy. Because I feel like here in the Philippines, they take the food scene, no matter what, very, very serious. You know, a lot of people, they spend their time with their loved ones, their family, they socialize. And I can tell you, Filipino cuisine doesn't get much recognition as Japanese, Chinese food, but I think you guys should definitely experience it at least once in your lifetime, because it has a lot of influences. And you know, I'm a guy who is Hispanic, and I feel like a lot of similarities of the food here are similar to mine, but like with an Asian twist. So I have a lot of cuisines over here that I love. Even when I travel to other countries, I'm kind of already missing Filipino food, so. But yeah. You can't get enough of this neighborhood out here. Talking about heat, for some reason, I don't know why in High Street, the heat feels worse in Uptown. When I'm in Uptown, there's breeze. I think maybe because the buildings are taller over there, so it doesn't feel that brutal. Makes me want to jump at this fountain, man, because the heat is pretty intense right now. But yeah, I think this video is gonna be short. Just a little explanation, you know, or a little update of what I do over here, you know, like doing a visa update. You know, if you want to stay here long, that's what you gotta do. Of course, in every country, but I feel like in the Philippines it's super flexible in terms of tourist visa. But yeah, never get bored of the High Street, but it's better to come in the evening or in the nighttime when the sunset falls down. You'll see this actually pretty packed out here. Right now, pretty quiet out here in this area. But if you come here like in the evening, packed, especially in the weekend. If you come during the holiday season like Christmas, this over here will be literally jam-packed. This is like the main icon. But like I said, there's much more to explore here in this district. Like yesterday, I was filming the Greenway that I posted a video. You can check it out. And that's like an urban oasis, like pretty peaceful and quiet right here in the heart of Bonifacio Global City. But yeah, I think it was just a short video to give you an update, you know, of the visa status, you know, showing people how can you extend if you want to stay here a little bit longer. So, but I got more adventures coming and show you guys what's going on. So that was the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.